Hello guys, welcome to Silver Screen Recap channel. Today I am going to explain the action-adventure movie, Prince of Persia: Sand of Time, released in 2010. So without delay, let's explain the movie. At the beginning of the movie, we see the Persian king Sarman and his brother Nizam, and the king has two sons. He lived a very happy and peaceful life, but he had one flaw in his mind that he had not yet found a worthy heir to the kingdom. One day when Sarman and his brother Nizam went on a tour of the country, while passing through a city, a boy fell in front of them and a soldier fell from horse. And so the soldiers got angry and started beating the boy. And seeing the boy being beaten, his friend came there and shouted a lot to release him from the hands of the soldiers, but the soldiers did not listen to him. Then the boy threw an apple in front of the soldier and ran away. Then when the soldiers came to catch him, he performs his tricks, jumping from building to building, but is finally caught by the soldiers. Then when the soldiers were going to kill the boy, King Sarman came and saved the boy. Then the king asked the boy his name. Then the boy said, "My name is Dostan." Then when the king asked the boy, "What are your parents' name?" Then the boy remains silent, and king realizes that the boy is an orphan. And seeing the boy's bravery and courage, the king adopted the boy and took him with him to Persia. And he was placed in the seat of his third child. Thus the boy in the street of Persia became the Prince of Persia. Then we look at the events 15 years later, where the king's three sons have grown up. And their names are Taz, Gursev, and Dostan. One day Nizam came to them and showed them some weapons and said that we got these weapons from our enemies. And these weapons are being supplied by the people of Almaty to our enemies. And if this continues, then one day our enemies will become more powerful than us. So we should attack the city of Almat and find out and destroy the weapons factories in the city of Almat. So they decided to attack the city of Almat without informing the king. Then Dostan said, "I will attack the city of Almat first." But Taz says to Dostan, that "You are young now, not yet old enough to enter the battlefield first." So Taz ordered Garsev to attack first. But Dostan reaches Alma first with his friend Bis and some soldier to show his bravery to everyone. Then they entered the city of Almat and killed all the guards before the gates of the city of Almat, and opened the east gate, and signaled the rest of the soldiers to enter. Then the Persian soldier entered the city of Almat. And this news reached Tamina, the queen of Almat city. Then she gives one of his soldiers a knife wrapped in a red cloth, and tells him to take the knife far away from this city. It was actually a magic knife, with which it was possible to go back in time. But the soldier confronted Dostan after leaving the palace, and in a fight with Dostan his knife fell, and Dostan took it. And soon the Persian soldier surrounded the whole city of Almat and defeated the Almat soldier. Then Taz, Gursev, Nizam goes to Tamina, and asks her where is the weapons factory? Then Tamina says this is a holy city, there is no weapons factory here. Taz then proposes to Tamina, telling her that it will strengthen our friendship. Then Tamina says, "I would rather die than marry you." Then Taz said, "I'm making arrangements for it too." Then when Taz's soldier goes to kill Tamina, Tamina suddenly notices that the knife she had given her soldier is now in Dostan's possession. In order to protect the knife, she agrees to the marriage. Then when Taz returned to Persia, King Sarman scolded Taz a lot, and said that why did you attack a holy city like Almat? Taz then says that, "I will not show you my face until I can prove that the attack on Almat city was justified." Taz came out of the hall after saying this. And before leaving the palace, he told Dostan, "If the king's anger cools, you will give this cloth to the king, and present Tamina to him, and offer my hand in marriage to Tamina. And if he refuses, you will kill Tamina with your own hands." Then according to Taz, Dostan wears Sarman the labaj given by Taz. Then he brings Tamina to him, and tells king that Taz wants to marry Tamina. Then Sarman says he has many wives but you are not married yet, you should marry Tamina instead. Hearing this, Dostan got a bit shy and left. Then king's body started burning and everyone rushed and tried to open the labaj from king's body, but whoever touched the labaj burned his hand. King died there in some time. Then everyone says that Dostan gave this poison clothes to king, that means it was Dostan who killed king. Then when soldiers come to catch Dostan, Tamina says to Dostan, "Let's run from here or they will kill you." Then both of them ran away from there. And the news of king's death reached his eldest son Taz. And Taz declared that whoever could bring the king's murderer to me would be rewarded. Then when the fugitive Dostan and Tamina are resting, Tamina traps Dostan in her words and tries to kill him with Dostan's sword. And Dostan also takes the magic knife to defend himself, and accidentally the button on the knife is pressed, so a few seconds go past and seeing that, Tamina is going to grab her sword to kill him. Immediately Dostin grabs Tamina's hand and says that I have seen that you are trying to kill me. Then Tamina says, how do you understand? Dostin then tries to show her by pressing the button of the knife, but it no longer works because there is no sand in the knife. Tamina then tells Dostin that you have used up all the sand in this knife. So now this knife is a simple knife with no edge. Dostin then decides to go to Efrat, where the king is to be buried. And if he tell all these incidents to Nizam there, maybe Nizam will believe him. But on the way, Tamina pretends to be unconscious, and when Dostin comes to see her, Tamina hits Dostin on the head with a bone, and knocking him unconscious she leaves with the knife. After some time, when Dostin regains consciousness, he sees that some people are surrounding him. And Sekamar told him that we will release you only if you give us something valuable. Then, Dostin hands over Tamina to them, and Sekamar brings them both to his village. Then when Dostin wants to escape from there, Seso stops him. And Sekamar says to Dostin, your face is very similar to King's killer. Meanwhile, Tamina was serving water to the people who had come to watch the ostrich race. She untied all the ostriches and they ran away from the crowd. After changing their dress, they both went to Efrat, and met the Nizam there. And Dostin told the Nizam that, I did not kill the king, Taz killed the king because he wanted to be the king. And now he is in Almat, because there he is looking for the magic sand that makes a magic knife work. The Nizam then says that his hand was burnt while removing the king's labaj, but Dostin realizes that he did not touch the king's labaj but that he burned his hand while poisoning the labaj. As Nizam's plot gets exposed, he tries to kill Dostin, but Dostin managed to escape. In order not to expose the Nizam's conspiracy, he approaches Taz and requests an order to kill Dostin. But Taz says the law will punish him. Then Nizam met big gangster Hassan Singh and showed him greed for wealth, and said find Dostin and kill him and bring me the knife he has. Then Hassan went out with his gang to find Dostin. Here, Dostin finds the horse's footprints and finds Tamina and tells Tamina that the king was killed by Nizam, not Taz, and now he wants the knife. Then Dostin asks Tamina what Nizam will do with this knife. With this knife you can only go back a few moments. Tamina then tells Dostin that there is a sand mine in a holy temple in the city of Almat, and with this magic sand we can go back in time at will. Then Shikamar finds Dostin and Tamina, and says that the loss you have caused by leaving my ostrich, I will compensate you with a reward placed on you. Then at night when everyone was sleeping, Hassan Singh released some poisonous snakes among them, and when one snake went to bite Seso, Dostin killed the snake with burning wood. And he says to Seso, if you want to live then give me that knife. Then Seso gives that knife to Dostin. And Dostin pressed the button of the knife so that he went back some time and saw the position of all the snakes and killed all the snakes. Sekamar's men and Hassan Singh were surprised to see this scene. The next day, when they all went to the temple in a mountain, but when they reached the temple, Garsiv and his soldiers came and said if you want to live, surrender. Then Dostin tries to convince him and says I did not kill our dad. The Nizam killed the king because he wanted to be the king, and since his plot was leaked to me, he sent Hassan Singh to kill me. And just then Hassan Singh's men attacked Garsiv's troops, and when Garsiv went out to see it, some poisoned knife struck him in the chest and fell there. Then just as Tamina goes to put the knife in the safe place of the temple, Hassan Singh's men attack her and she falls unconscious and the knife falls from her hand. Then a snake of Hassan Singh's comes and swallows the knife and gives it to Hassan Singh. Before taking his last breath, Garsiv tells Dostin to save the country. Then they buried Garsiv and came to the city of Almat in search of the knife. The snake that came to give the knife to its owner, the owner cut its stomach and took out the knife. And the Nizam kept this knife very guarded. But Seso goes up to retrieve the knife by killing the guards there. But some of the archer's poisoned knives hit his chest, and before he died he killed the archer, recovered the knife and gave it to Sekamar. Then Dostin took the knife and went to Taz, and said that Nizam had poisoned King's clothes. This knife has a miraculous power, and with this miraculous power it is possible to go into the past. The Nizam conspired to attack our city of Almat only to get this knife. There is no armory there, but Taz doesn't believe Dostin's words. Then Dostin says when I will stab myself you will press this button of knife and he stabs himself. Then, as Dostin says, Taz presses the button of the knife and returns to the past where Dostin is about to stab himself. He stops Dostin and says I have seen everything. Just then Nizam comes and kills Taz, and takes the knife from Dostin. Then when Hassan Singh's men are about to kill Dostin, Tamina comes and saves him. Then we see Nizam going down the tunnel in search of sand. With many guards at the front door, Dostin and Tamina entered the tunnel through another route. But when Hassan Singh tried to stop Dostan, he threw him down. When Tamina prevents Nizam from opening the sands of time, Nizam throws her down. Then just as the Nizam buried the knife in a pile of sand, Dostan arrives and presses the button on the knife, and he goes back to the past, where he first got the knife, and finds that Taz, Gursav and Bis are all alive. Then Dostan tells everyone, "We have been attacked by conspiracy in Almat City, there is no armory here." It was the Nizam's plan. He only wanted to acquire this knife because he wanted to go back to the past and kill King Sarman to become the king. But Nizam tries to prove Dostan's words wrong, but Dostan tells him to call the Nizam's spy and the truth will be known from him. Then Nizam got angry and went to kill Dostan, but Taz came and killed Nizam and saved him. Then Taz came to Queen Tamina and apologized. Then Dostan married Tamina. And movie end here.